Victoria Pendleton is a member of Britain's female sprint cycle team. Sprint cycling is fast and tough and produces massive amounts of lactic acid. At this rate, the longest she can keep going is around 60 seconds. It was fantastic watching you because it's not like anything I ever have to do. I mean, sometimes the guys have to do these quick solos where they burst out the stage and bounce around. It's not something so much women have to do. I can't imagine how you train for something like that.
Well, the training mainly comprises of very short, intense efforts, and plenty of them. I mean, the effort I did today was perhaps a bit longer than I would usually do to train for the sprint events, but lots of 6 to 12 second maximal efforts.
Just 6 to 12
Maybe,
seconds?
yeah, in some training sessions.
And what do you do afterwards?
Tend to collapse and have to have quite a long warm down to get the lactic acid out of the legs and sort of to recover. I have jelly legs after I finish an effort, you know, you can barely walk.
I'm intrigued to know exactly how and when the lactic acid kicks in. So to find out, I'm going to warm up and then push myself on the bike over a minute or so. The anaerobic process. It's called anaerobic because there's no oxygen involved. The energy is supplied through a chemical reaction in the muscle cells. And the inevitable result of the anaerobic process is the build now, and the lactic acid is starting to flood my muscles, blocking. Hardly keep going, and neither can Ivan.
Spin round and round and round and round, just like sort of spinning your teacup round and round and round. Eventually, the fluid catches up with the motion of the head and moves with it, but then you suddenly stop.
Right.
If you suddenly stop, you totally fool the balance organ, because the head stops, but the fluid continues to rotate. And this sends a signal to the brain that you're moving, but of course you're not.
Right.
And that provokes the dizziness.
What difference does it make, though, to the amount of dizziness being in the dark?
There's much more.
Much more, right.
Because normally vision would suppress your dizziness because you can actually see the world is stable around you. But in the dark, of course, you've not got any cues to tell you that you're actually stationary.
Right.
Now, the reason we're going to record your eyes is that the balance organs of the inner ears, when they're stimulated, cause reflex eye movements. If you turn your head to the right, for example, your eyes will automatically be driven to the left. So in the dark, we'll see this. Yes, you get.
So you're naturally centering yourself.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Okay.
So we can see my eyes, even though it's going to be dark in here. We're going to see them wibbling.
Yes, indeed.
Excellent.
Now, the first thing we have to do is turn the lights out and focus on your eyes.
Okay.
That movement of the eyes is what's called the stopping nystagmus, which is our external evidence that she's dizzy.
So you stop me? Are you sure? Because I feel like I'm still going. Oh no, that's really weird because I now feel like the chair's going around to the left. But when we do the fouettes in Swan Lake, which is 32 fouettes, spinning constantly to the right, why don't we get that sensation?
Well, that's in a sense is what we're investigating. I believe it's that it's under cognitive control. You know exactly what you're doing. You're the actor. You're not just a passive doll sitting in a spinning chair. And you may be spotting. And although the motion has continual pirouettes, in fact, there's a lot of complicated body movement in which you're slightly stopping, slightly accelerating, slightly decelerating.
So now I'm going to duplicate in the dizziness chair what Marianella is doing here as she turns.
You can spot because we're going to make your head free.
Oh, that's better.
And we'll give you something to spot on. So we're going to spot on a little light that we've rigged up. The comparable thing would be if you choose, what do you choose as a dancer? A spotlight in the distance?
We have,
wings or
yes,
something, or?
no, spots, a tiny light at the back of the auditorium. Or those exit signs are very good, actually. So you just pick something you can see. And if you can't see, you make the head movement anyway.
So the spot will always be audience-oriented?
Always,
Okay.
When I pirouette, I leave my head to the left as long as possible and then flick it round to the right to spot the same point. This flicking, left to right, means the fluid in my inner ear can't build up momentum. My brain doesn't realise I'm spinning, and that's how spotting works.
Now you wouldn't do many more pirouettes than that, so we're going to come to stop now. How's the dizziness?
No dizziness at all. It took me just a nanosecond to go, oh, okay, we've stopped.
Yeah.
And no dizziness at all. A classical pas de deux, like Don Quixote, demonstrates all the skills we've been exploring. Jonathan's jumps, Marianella's turns, flexibility, balance, and strength. of my performances have been on the ballet stage. But 2 years ago, I shared a stage in New York with a dancer who did things with his body I've never seen before.
I don't know how it happened. You know what I'm saying? I never expected to become a dancer. I wasn't sitting around with my crutches and brace when I was 9 years old going, I want to be a dancer when I grow up. You know, that wasn't there.
Bill Shannon was born with malformed hip joints, making it difficult for him to walk unaided.
Looking at my work, there's a lot of ambiguity in my need for crutches. The disability that I have, leg calf Perthes disease, basically it means that the hip isn't round. It's like a square peg in a round hole. If you use it too much, you're going to be in severe pain. If you use it a little bit, you can deal with the pain. But if you want to be a dancer, you cannot dance without using crutches with a square peg in a round hole.
Bill started out as a street dancer, part of New York's hip-hop scene. Over the last 10 years, his unique style has attracted invitations to perform all over the world.
Sometimes I'll end a show by lifting up my crutches and walking backwards for like 4 steps as the light fades out. And I don't really do that to show that I can walk. I do it to basically ask the audience a question. And that question is, if you have in your head that there's an absolute representation of disability, then you're wrong.
Ayo, 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 coming with the bouncing flow. Coming with the bouncing flow. Geronimo, all systems go in the house in the garage flow. Like Geronimo, all systems go in the house in the garage flow. Like whoa, Geronimo, all systems go in the house in the garage flow. Like Geronimo, all systems go in the house in the garage flow. Like whoa, you don't check out the show. Ayo, while I respect the dodo, you know, we keep it bumping, dumping, bumping, girls in the place, girls jumping, shaking something. You got to mix and blend when you rewind and come again, my friend.
Bill distributes the weight of his body across his arms, legs and crutches. It's a 6-limbed style unique to his unique body. Bill's crutches are as fundamental to his performance as these are to mine. People always want to know whether dancing on point hurts. Well, the answer is that over years and years of training, the body changes and strengthens to adapt to almost anything you throw at it. So while dancing on point hurt when I was 11, these days I'm as comfortable on point as most people are in bare feet. Given enough time and the right training, the human body can adapt to the demands of all kinds of dancing. The French company Montalvo Hervieux blend together several dance styles and different dancers' bodies in their performances. And today I'm going to join in, playing the role of ballerina with break dancers, an African dancer and a contemporary dancer, all on stage at the same time. Different dancers, different bodies, celebrating what the dancer's body can do.